If done right, Season 71 could be the most fun season yet, and the best chance at a top 500 if you never got it before. So we'll basically cover the best things to focus on first, what you should unlock first, and more importantly, what you should upgrade first. Because if there's one thing you gotta take away from the video, it's don't max everything. We don't have too many tokens, and if you spend them whichever way you want, you'll end up being short on what really matters. We'll also be doing a giveaway, but more on that later in the vid. And we're going to be streaming the start of the season and some daily videos, so if you want to follow along, we'll be starting with a rank 1 account and maybe trying it with no IT. It seems like a pretty okay season to do that and see if it works out. And let's just start off with an unlock order. But already, right away you want a troop that's stronger than Cryos, so we're going to go straight to rifles and really be using that for a fair amount of the season. It could really just be an hour of using it until we get to Seekers basically. We could choose other troops like lasers or warriors, but as we'll see later, there's some much better troops just a little while longer. And right after rifles, we do want to open 3 ER. And the reason why is we can look at 2 ER to see the difference. It's not so much as a stronger deck, but the fact that if you only have 2 ERs and someone gets a barrage which isn't very far along the tree, all they're gonna do is tap the screen 2 times and beat your base in 4 seconds. So you really wanna go past 2 ER as soon as possible. Because even right as you go 3, you have 1 extra ER with more health. That means people can't just 2 tap your ERs and be done with the hit. They actually have to send troops across, or we'll see later some other abilities. And then after 3 ER, we're really just taking the straight path all the way until Super Warriors. And the reason for that is Super Warriors already have a ton of health, a ton of damage, but their main value is you can throw them anywhere you want. It doesn't matter if the ERs are close to the beach or way in the back, you tap a few Super Warriors out and they kill the ERs for you. It could even be a start of a meta where you don't even have to drop any troops. All they're doing is throwing Super Warriors and beating the base. Now you might think, why not critters or shocks? Well, right now if it's all about speed, you want a troop that has a lot of health and can do a lot of damage. Splash counters critters more than boom cannons or cannons counter Super Warriors, and that's going to be the strongest. And then after Super Warriors, you can make your way until the next strong troop, Seekers. So picking up shock launchers, another multi-node, probably some more troop damage. And now the thing with Seekers, there is a bit of a love-hate with a lot of people, but this season should be pretty different. Because normal Seeker hits, you lose a lot of them, so not great for free-to-play, and they're complicated. You're throwing a bunch of flares and shocks, having to get perfect timing on critters and other abilities. But this season, when you have things like Cryobomb, which clears a bunch of mines, you have Serum, which really moves Seekers along, and more importantly, Super Warriors and Defib to take down ERs, it's a completely different kind of hit. You can really just drop your Seekers, maybe 1 or 2 Cryobombs and then not care about them, then just spend abilities on taking down ERs. That combined with super strong offense means you shouldn't lose too many of them, so it should be way easier hits and losing fewer troops, which might be one of the few times where a Seeker meta actually makes sense for everyone. And then after Seekers, you have both a strong troop and a strong ability Super Warriors, so now we can go for a little more defense. Moving on up, we can go towards 4 ER and 5 ER, still looking at the deck layout to see why that's happening, remembering that that's how 3 ER looks like. Even though 4 isn't too much better, you're mainly thinking that, well, there's 1 extra ER to either Super Warrior or Seeker, and they all have some more health. Same thing applies with 5 ER, except it's just an even better deck layout. And for now, we'll kind of stop there at 5 ER, even though 6 and 7 do also have extra ERs. You really want to get to the end of the tree to get Speed Serum and Defib. But the one thing we'll get right before the end of the tree is Cryobomb, because that's another super strong ability. If you throw Cryobombs, You don't have to worry about mines one bit, you can slow down shock launchers by a ton, alongside helping both Seekers and Super Warriors. With the rest of the unlocks really just making way until the end of the tree, getting the last two strong abilities, Speed Serum and Defib. And Serum of course helps out not only Seekers, but you can use them on Super Warriors. Same with Defib, where you can chuck it in the back of the base and it basically spawns a full boat of rifles right on top of ERs. And we even have a rifle boost this season, so not only do you have rifles, but super strong ones. And at least where the unlock order goes, we'll kind of stop there for now. 26 unlocks is both a lot and not so much. Because the cost of everything is really low this season, then let's say you start from rank 1, you can hit gold on the first day, so rank 16, which should be possible, and you can get Defib by the end of that first day. So it's gonna be a really cheap tree to move along, and ironically, it makes the unlock order not so important like a normal season, because even if you want to get other stuff like, let's say lasers right away, or you want some building damage first, or you want to move to troop health, artillery, cannons, you're not hurting yourself too much like a normal season. But what can hurt is don't max everything. Because we have more than enough keys this season, but we don't have enough tokens. So if you decide on day 1 that you want to max out lasers, maybe get warriors and brick, max those out, then come a few days in the season, you won't have enough for upgrading Defib, which really matters, or upgrading boosts like GBE or troop damage. You want to be really careful with what you upgrade. There's really 5 pieces of tech that you really want to max out: landing crafts, rifles, and seekers. You want to have those fully maxed out. Gunboat too, because you're going to be using abilities a lot this season. And the other one, medkits, because especially when you're throwing Defib in the back, you're spawning rifles in the midst of a bunch of flames, machine guns probably, and you want some medkits where you can heal them back up. So if there's 5 things you really want to max out, it's these 5 right here. And there's also 5 things that you really want to get to level 4 as soon as possible. You got a few defenses like shock mines and shock launchers. Since not much is going to actually kill your troops, these are the only 2 buildings that can kind of slow them down. We don't want to max out shock launchers because you get 2 of them at level 4 and really that's good enough. Even building health, normally you would max that out, but that 5th upgrade is a little pricey, so maybe you want to hold off a bit. And the other 2 are some offense. You want Defib level 4. Every upgrade you get 2 more rifles, but that last one is really pricey at 1 million. So level 4 should be more than enough to take good advantage. And of course, we have 2 GBE nodes this season. You want them at level 4 ASAP. And the reason we're doing level 4 for now is same as Defib, that last upgrade is pretty expensive. Now if all those are 10 things you really should upgrade, then what about the rest? If you had to choose, you would only upgrade buildings and boosts. A good rule of thumb for next season is just capping it out at level 4. Because for every single tech in the tree, that 5th level is the most expensive. So if you want to save tokens, level 4 should be good enough. And there's a few exceptions of course, but as we'll get into this season, we can go over finer details. And that's also why we're stopping the unlock order at Defib. We can still think about what we should get right after. Maybe it's 6 ER, maybe it's going towards building health. But we don't really need to know until the season actually starts. The point of a starting path is just to know a solid, maybe 24 hours at least, where you're trying to head to. Now there is one thing that you really shouldn't touch no matter what, and that's really troops and heroes. Because defenses and boosts, it's always going to affect your hits and your base design. But you don't always have to use every single troop or hero. So if you're going to run Seekers a full way through, you don't need to upgrade HCs or heavies or RCs. In fact, that's even going to just put you back because they're not really affecting your hits. Even though it might be fun to use them, just for this season, we don't have too many tokens. So if you want to have a good time, gotta be more careful with how you spend them. And even with heroes, because it's such a fast-paced meta, no hero can really do much. We have Kavan and Sparky that's pretty good in more defensive seasons. Bullet can sometimes be useful, but he's one of the most expensive heroes. And even Brick, you could maybe use for battle orders, but if you had Speed Serum where you can throw anywhere, you don't really need Brick to also help out. And because there's so many unlocks this season, we can also show this chart we make kind of for every season because we do a rank 1 start. And it looks pretty complicated. It's more so of like personal reference. If you're starting rank 1, what you can unlock, and on the right side what you can upgrade. It just kind of helps visualize where you want to get to around the first day of the season. At least all the way until defib. The reason on the left you have rank 11 plus 4 chests is even starting rank 1, you can hold off on your starting chests until you hit rank 11. If you don't, you can always pick up those chests early on, but the higher rank you get, the more keys are in each chest. And then towards the end you have your time chest, your first 8 hours, first 16 hours, and that gets you all the way until defib. So if you want, you can use that for reference, at least upgrade wise, not trying to upgrade something too far and maybe struggle later on. And for one of the first times, the unlock order doesn't even fit in one screen. So you do have this starting one here, and then a bit later down with everything else. But now we can move on to the giveaway. Some of us content creators do get like these vouchers from Supercell. We can give out some gifts. I barely realized a few days ago these ones expire on the 28th, so I thought better get it done. And we're going to be doing 5 giveaways, each person getting 400 diamonds, 400 time savers, and 5 build tokens. All you gotta do is sub to the channel and leave a comment below. Could be about how you feel about next season, do you like it, do you not like it? And about a day after the season starts, we'll pick 5 random comments and it'll give those prizes. Also, for anyone buying instant training or anything in the shop, would appreciate if you use a creator code. If you want to support this channel, you can use code Stoneheart. But that's really the starting plan for next season. It really could be the most fun season we've had. Got so many abilities, a super fast meta. So let me know what you think, if you're looking forward to a 1-week speedy season. And as a last reminder, if there's one thing you want to take away, it's don't max everything. But that's going to be it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.